there yet, and then you show up and he's already there. Like, oh, sorry, you're Mr. Patterson's already inside.
Yeah, and DDL's there.
Yeah.
Welcome to
I'm the biggest
Drinkin
DDL.
Then he's like slow dancing with Jesse. And he just looks around your head and flips you off.
That'd be great. Since we're live on air, we might as well go into what we were talking about. It's Drinkin Bros Sports Companion Show brought to you by KillcliffCBD.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros will get you 20% off there. However, we were discussing my fave, DDL, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Who is out in the world somewhere acting like someone else.
Yeah, I just thought it would be funny if someone made a biopic about one of us and they cast Daniel Day-Lewis to play it, but he keeps, like, he won't leave you alone. Yeah. You know how, like, Johnny Depp, he lived in Hunter S. Thompson's basement for, like, 6 months or some shit.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with him, shooting guns, getting fucked up all the time. Daniel Day-Lewis is another method actor, maybe the best of all time. And I just think it would be super funny if he just kept, he starts assimilating into your life, but it goes too far. Like,
he always goes too far.
He always does, yeah. I mean, my left foot, he actually cut his left foot off.
Like right now, you could be Daniel Day-Lewis, and I don't even know.
Maybe I am, and that's the point of this bit. Like, I would love to see a movie like Being John Malkovich, but it's Daniel Day-Lewis playing himself.
Yeah.
But trying to play somebody else in the movie. That would be, I would fucking watch that every day for the rest of my life if that happened.
The best shot of Daniel Day-Lewis, I don't know if that screen's connected, but the best shot of Daniel Day-Lewis is him eating dressed up as Abraham Lincoln at like a fucking Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
That's the greatest, or some local mom and pop diner, but it's the greatest picture of all time because he's in full character eating like Abraham Lincoln in a restaurant. He's the best there is. What
if we had DDL and Sorbs in the same restaurant, both dressed as Lincoln?
Oof. Tough call there.
Yeah. No,
Tough
I mean,
call.
There's no, what's the call? I want both.
Well, you can have both, but I'm saying who would you rather have as Lincoln, you know?
I would like to see them fight for it.
I got Sorbs in that. I got Case Sorbs in that.
Maybe.
Daniel Day-Lewis is, he's got a femme type vibe in real life.
He's English. It's not a femme vibe. He's just English. Seriously.
Is he gay or is he English?
No, he's English.
Okay.
He's not. They don't.
He goes big hoop earrings.
Even when they try to talk tough, like if you watched, all the fucking hooligan movies that have come out over the year, like with what's his name? Danny Dyer played in a bunch of them, Green Street Hooligans. There's a bunch of these movies. Even when they're talking shit, it's just like, what are you fucking? Is this like a poetry contest? Is this slam poetry? You talking shit? Somebody hit somebody. Shut the fuck up. So I think maybe it's just British people seem a little gay.
Okay.
Which is fine because, it's not wrong being gay or British.
No, there's not.
Just don't try to fucking tax my tea, bitch.
Don't tax my fucking tea.
Yeah.
Is that Killcliff logo up? No, huh? No, yeah, on the YouTubes. Why not? Yeah, pop it up. Pop it up. That's our sponsor. That's why we made it. There we go. Boom. Proud of Killcliff CBD. Everybody's drinking this shit. Glad to have them on the sports show. A lot to talk about today. Oof. Where do we start, D'Anthony? You want to start? Let's start with the Brett Favre comments.
Hang on. I'm pulling up a picture, a screenshot that I took of this dum-dum.
Of Brett Favre?
Yeah.
And his dick?
No.
His dick pic was less than epic, by the way. You know I love a good dick pic. Nothing pleases me more in this life than a hilarious dick pic. And Brett Favre did not have the dick that he thought he did when he texted it out to that Fox Sports reporter.
No, I mean, look, here's a good rule of thumb, generally speaking, no matter who you are and how wealthy or powerful or famous you are. Mm-hmm. Don't sexually harass people at all. And don't do it when you're married.
Right.
And don't send them dick pics, probably. I don't know. Those seem like some pretty good rules of thumb. But let's go back to this dumb shit he said the other day. So
he said that Kaepernick will be remembered as a hero the same way as Pat Tillman was.
The point he was trying to make, which is in some ways reasonable, is that both of them gave up something, or at least the threat of giving up something. Although Tillman actually did, but let's continue with this explanation first. They were at the height. Both were at the height of their fame, for lack of a better phrase. Like Kaepernick's next contract would have been the big one in his NFL career that took care of him for the rest of his life. And because of his stance and continuing to push it even after being threatened, he forewent that money. That makes sense to me because that is exactly what happened for sure. He knew he was going to get blackballed by the league, and he did it anyways.
But he was a backup quarterback at the time.
In a way, yeah. But the last season he played, 2016. Like I look, if we're gonna make good arguments, let's make good arguments, and that isn't one because he was like overall ranked about 16th in quarterbacks in the league that year statistically. So he wasn't a backup quarterback. He was a backup quarterback because he was causing a lot of fucking hoopla and nobody wanted to play with him, right? But his talent was not in question, in my opinion. Statistically, it's not in question. If you took all quarterback statistics into consideration, he would have ranked 16th that year. And there's how many teams?
32. Yeah.
So he should have been starting somewhere. He wasn't because of his
mid-level
actions.
guy,
and that's the point Brett Favre was making. Now, that was a potentiality, right? He didn't know for sure that was going to happen. I guess at some point he knew for sure, but I'm pretty sure that when Pat Tillman joined the Army and went to Ranger School and et cetera, he didn't expect to get time off to go back and play football and get paid millions of dollars. He knew that he was ending his career right there. Like he knew for sure he would never get paid by the NFL again. Probably.
I would imagine so.
Like if he did, how old was he at the time? 24?
24, yeah.
Yeah, so he would have been 30 probably by the time he left the league, or by the time he left the military. I assume he would have done, but somewhere between 4 and 8 years probably, unless he decided to make a career out of it. And he absolutely decided to not only put his career on hold, but probably end it right there to go fight for something. These two are not comparable. And here's what Favre said to clarify. He said, including Pat Tillman's name in the interview on Colin Kaepernick was not a comparison of the two, but a recognition that they both sidelined their football dreams in pursuit of a cause. Pat tragically lost his life, making the ultimate sacrifice and deserves the highest honor. Now, that's pretty weak. Pretty weak rollback. But you can't, we can't just like fucking throw the baby out with the bathwater. And here's what I mean by that. We can't just decide because a guy made a bad analogy and, maybe it wasn't thoughtful. Maybe he was trying to be thoughtful and helpful and it wasn't. You can't just fucking cancel people and like, oh, I'm done with Brett Favre forever. Like he said something stupid and he's got an opportunity to fix that, I guess. But there are a lot of people that aren't going to recover from this. Wisconsin is the part of Wisconsin where he was, Green Bay, they're pretty conservative up there.
Right.
They don't like this kind of shit. So I don't know what this is going to mean for him in the future. I mean, he's not doing anything anyway, so
no,
it doesn't really matter that much.
He's retired, I think, in Mississippi, and he's rich as fuck. So it really doesn't matter. The thing that I find odd about it is why say anything in a time like this? When emotions are so heightened on both sides, why say anything like this? Like me personally, I've taken a pause from social media. And I haven't posted anything on like Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or anything for a while because it's just like everything is so fucking crappy that it's like, I'll wait for this to die out, and then when I have something cool or whatever.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could have said that wasn't this.
Why say anything?
Because look,
it's Brett Favre.
Let's loop LeBron in here because he said he put something out on Twitter yesterday. He said, here, I'll read it. He said, to my brothers and sisters in sports and arts, and I don't know if he means everybody or just black people. I honestly don't know, but who knows? We have incredible influence in our community. Again, I don't know what our community means. I assume he's talking about the black community in America.
Imagine, yeah.
We need to use this moment to demand change. I got to be honest. I struggle with what to demand because so damn much needs to change. Now, that's a very thoughtful statement that he made right there. And it's accurate, and it's also, for someone like him, it's probably not easy to say, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Because people expect him to say something, so I appreciate what he said there. The last sentence is, but I'm starting with our right to vote.
What does that mean exactly?
I don't know. I mean, the 15th Amendment is pretty old, so black people can definitely vote. But I assume what he means is vote tampering, like voter suppression and shit like that, which is
being accused of today in the state of Kentucky, by the way. So maybe that's why the statement is made.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a primary going on right now, and everybody's bitching about how there's only one polling station open for about 600,000 people, most of the people predominantly black. Mm-hmm. The problem that I have with that is there was a lot more open, but they were closed down because of COVID.
Right.
So which is it? Do you want everything closed down for COVID and you want mail-in balloting? Or do you want to show up and vote? Pick something, because right now you're stuck in between, and one side is going to bitch about one thing. And the Democrats are asking for mail-ins. Republicans are asking for the polls to be open. Clearly they didn't open them, obviously. So what's the right answer?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing absentee ballot voting for my entire adult life. I've never gone to a polling station and voted. I've always gone in, gotten my fucking shit, and then go home, fill it out, and mail it in. And I'm fine with that. But the procedures behind that are problematic sometimes. Like, you can't just mail it to people's addresses, because what if somebody moved? Like, people forget when they register to vote.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know where their polling place is until the morning of the vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to button that shit up. But I think the point that he's making is more along those lines. So it's voter suppression and it's gerrymandering, mostly. I don't know if he knows what gerrymandering is, because he's kind of an idiot, but I'll explain it here in a sec. I know this is a sports show, but there's no sports going on right now, so we're going to talk about people in sports. So the first thing is voter suppression. Now, if you don't think that's happened over the last half century, you're out of your fucking mind. Come on, give me a break, man. I mean, shit. The Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act are not that old. Like, our parents were alive when that shit happened.
Yeah.
Shit, some of you guys out in the audience were alive when this shit happened. There's so many ways to do it. Now, I disagree with a lot. Most of the complaints that I hear about identification, like, oh, well, these poor people don't have identification. Well, fucking get them IDs then, dude. How fucking hard is it? It's not an excuse. You can't say, like, there's a rule where you have to fucking establish who you are, establish your identity to preserve the integrity of the vote, because the vote in this country is so important, right? So you have to establish your identity, and then you have to prove it on election day most of the time. That makes perfect sense to me.
It
but
does. So when I voted last time, because I vote in person, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I vote in person. I had my ID out. We live in the state of North Carolina currently, and they said we don't need it. I mean, they were like, please don't get this out of my face. Like, and I was like, all right, well, how do you know I am who I say I am? And they were like, well, just give me your address. And I was like, all right, but I could, anybody can do that.
There have been some pretty exhaustive studies done by nonpartisan organizations over the last 25 years, and the last data that I saw was from 2012, I think, and there were 13 cases of voter fraud. 13 out of the 130 million people that voted. Right. So that's like 0.01%.
Yeah.
Get fucked. It just doesn't happen that much. But that's not the point I was making. The point I'm making is that the system is what it is. You have to identify who you are to preserve the integrity of the vote. And their rebuttal to that is, well, we don't have the ability to identify ourselves. That's the problem. The problem isn't the fucking rule. It's the fact that we have failed this community in making sure they can abide by the rule. Like, they can't, because they can't afford it, or they're elderly people that don't drive anymore. So what do they need a fucking ID for? There's all sorts of reasons why people don't have the proper identification. And that is just the failure of primarily the state and local governments, not us. It's the aldermen in Chicago that run that fucking city. They have unlimited power in Chicago, and they have ultimately failed their city, so it's nonsense. That whole thing is nonsense. The other part is that's Liquid IV, by the way.
Yeah, big fan of Liquid IV. I got them drinking it as well.
The other part is gerrymandering. So what gerrymandering means is every 10 years or so, congressional districts and other districts get redrawn, right?
Geographically.
Yes. So whomever's in power, whether it be Republicans or Democrats, and it's not one side or the other, it's both goddamn sides, they look at the fucking previous federal election year. So in this case, it would be when they redraw the lines this year, it'll be from 2016's data and the census data. And they'll decide, they say they don't do this shit, but they're full of shit. They decide that, if we move the border a little bit further this way, we get 20% more Democrats, or we get 20% more Republicans, and then we win that district.
Both parties are trying to change the lines.
It's been going on forever.
Since voting began, yeah.
And he's absolutely right about that. But I've been hearing all these motherfuckers on ESPN lately. Max Kellerman is probably the worst because he's just a pussy about it. I understand why somebody who's, a black person, they've been black their whole goddamn life, and they've always been told that the Democratic Party is the way to vote. So when LeBron James says get out the vote, he means go vote for Democrats. Now, they don't say it for the most part. Max Kellerman said it.
On air?
Yes. He didn't say directly go vote for Democrats, but he alluded to it directly. You have to go vote for these people that he made some analogy. I can't remember what it said, but basically the people who try to support you and not the people who are always trying to take shit away from you. And lessening welfare is not trying to take shit away from people. It's trying to make people self-sustaining, by the way.
Yeah.
But we can move on from that.
So if you're LeBron James and you make a statement like this, to me, if you really want to make a difference, make a sacrifice, he is the only person, in my opinion, in the NBA who said, I'm sitting out the rest of this season to fight social injustice, and make a difference in the world. That would shut down the entire NBA, in my opinion. I don't think anybody would come back. Do you agree?
Come back to the NBA?
Yes.
Oh, you mean for this season?
For this season.
If he says no, then it's not happening. Everybody knows that.
Right? Yeah. That's what I think. So if you're LeBron James, instead of making 1 or 2 tweets about it, you want to make a fucking difference, sit out. The entire league will follow you.
Yeah, he could do that, but I don't know why that benefits him to do it. I think it's
the biggest statement he could possibly make.
The biggest statement that anybody could possibly make is to turn around to your own people and say you're fucked up. Not that they're the only people that are fucked up, but you have the power to influence your community. Very few people can go outside of their community and have real influence. It's just not a thing. Like if somebody that looks like me walked into Chicago, right, to where protests are going on, like, hey, there's a lot of systemic shit going on for sure. There's a lot of stuff going on, but you have to fucking help fix your own community as well. You have responsibility. They would fucking boo me off the street and probably try to attack me and shit, which would not go well for them because I would shoot everybody. But you can't fucking preach to, like, there's no version of Christianity where a Muslim fucking whatever they're called, sheik, reverend, I don't know what the fuck they even call their people.
Let's call them Iron Sheiks.
Iron Sheiks.
Sports shows. Sports show Iron Sheiks.
There's no version of like something going wrong and it getting fixed because somebody from the outside comes in and fixes it. That is a disingenuous fix, and nobody accepts it. You know what I mean? If LeBron James turns around to his community and says, you know what he should do, and I almost agree with it. He should go to the owners and be like, hey, we're not playing unless you guys fucking do something. And I'm not talking about giving money. Like, you got to do something. You got to fucking, as a business, start hiring, like paying for the education and hiring black people to integrate them. Like, we need a new Reconstruction in this country. And I'm going to do some other bits on this soon about what Reconstruction was and why it didn't work in this country. But that's the solution. It's not reparations. It's not white guilt. It's none of that bullshit. Those are all red herrings. They don't really do anything. We need Reconstruction. We need people to be integrated into society. They need to be integrated into the fact that they don't have to fucking play basketball, rap, or sell drugs to become wealthy. They need to fucking start small businesses just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. They need to fucking work careers, not jobs, right? That's just the way it is. Like, we have to bring that group of people into what we have that's good. And it's the responsibility that exists on both sides. But it's not, if he made a statement like that, like to the NBA, like, hey, you're going to make a deal where The NBA is an organization, and anybody that fucking sponsors the NBA, anybody you guys work with, are going to start these fucking hiring initiatives, and not just hiring people for jobs, but putting them in place for careers, because careers are how you build generational wealth. Right. And that's how we level the playing field. It's not to bring white people down. It's to bring everybody else up with us. Mm-hmm. He could do that using the threat of not playing. Absolutely. And maybe, somebody will tell him that, and maybe he'll do it. I think he's trying to help. Honestly, I don't like LeBron James. I think he's kind of a cunt, to be honest. But I feel like he's trying to help right here, and he doesn't know what to do. And he's just when you're like that, you just go back to what you know, like vote Democrat. That's what we have to do. You know what I mean?
I watched The Shop, his show on HBO, and he's not afraid to talk about himself being the greatest. In my opinion, it's way fucking overblown. Like it's MJ and then Kobe and then him afterwards. But with that being said, he also references Muhammad Ali as being inspirational. Colin Kaepernick as being inspirational.
Yeah.
In this time that we're currently in, if LeBron James made that statement and said, I'm sitting out this NBA season, I'm not your fucking entertainment. I think all of us should sit out and focus on social injustice and do exactly what you said. Stick it to the owners and say, hey, man, we'll come back and play next year, but we want these initiatives in the collective bargaining agreements.
Yeah.
I think that would be the biggest statement of all time.
Yeah.
But I think this tweet that you just read sums up LeBron James perfectly. He doesn't know who he is, of whether or not he should be fighting for social injustice or a fucking brand that is trying to make $1 billion. Because he said that multiple times as well, of I want to be a billionaire.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and I think
that's going to happen either way. It's not.
I think so, but how does it happen faster for him? And
you use the fucking leverage that you have, and he's a pussy about it. Like, he capitulated to China because of money.
I agree.
It had nothing to do with fucking anything that's right or wrong.
But think about if he did exactly what you said, and all of these black businesses started and everything else, right? They would never forget him for this moment.
No, he would be
a hero.
That would be MLK level shit, because it's
correct.
It actually fixes things.
Yes.
Like, MLK had every right to be fucking angry and lash out, more so than black people living today even. Like, he had every right to justifiably be angry and riot and burn shit to the fucking ground. He had every right to do that, but he chose not to because he wanted to win. Yeah. It wasn't about making a scene. It was about making his fucking point.
Yeah.
And if somebody, he might be the only person that could do it right now.
By the way, and the other thing about MLK was he just kept going.
Yeah,
Get arrested, kept going. He never stopped.
Well, there were a lot
That's the thing with LeBron James. Right now, if the NBA comes back, more than likely it will stop this movement, because you'll have a distraction on TV every single night of some of the best NBA that we'll probably be ever lucky to see, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because everybody's in a bubble. Mm-hmm. It'll essentially be like a giant AAU league of the greatest players on earth, and it'll be awesome.
It'll be very competitive, that's for sure.
It'd be a blast to watch. Same with MLB, which we'll talk about in a minute. It will be a blast to watch. If you take that away or threaten to take that away in this moment right now, it would be the most powerful statement you can make. The problem is, I don't think he will.
Maybe not. I don't know. I hope so. I hope he does. I mean, look, I don't know. I don't think certainly not any other professional athlete. I can't think of one. I'm trying to think of, like, they're a great, obviously the NFL has fucking hundreds of exceptional black athletes. And a lot of them are like
athletics are dominated by exceptional black athletes.
They're very smart and thoughtful. Some of these folks, like, regardless of what, like, Richard Sherman says a lot of stupid shit, but he's a smart guy. He's just like trapped in he's trapped in his own bubble sometimes. And whenever you fucking get trapped in a bubble, you start saying dumb shit. It's just the way it is. But I don't think he's a dick or anything. I just think he's like a human being that's subject to emotions that are going to make you say dumb shit sometimes. But there's a lot of people in the NFL, a lot of dudes in the NFL of various races. Like, Russell Wilson has not lived a black life. He's half black, but he has not lived a black life as we would consider it. Neither did Colin Kaepernick, by the way.
Right.
But, he has nothing to – in Seattle, I suppose he has nothing to win because by coming out and being a force in this. Because the people that live – like, this small group of people in Seattle that live in that city and raise hell all the time are one thing, but the people who support the goddamn Seahawks are, like, they're conservative.
Oh, yeah.
Like, So like it's way more conservatives there.
Yeah, the citizens of Chad aren't buying season tickets to Seahawks games. Although it would be a blast if they were.
Yeah.
Nothing like a brick getting thrown on the field
at the end
of the first quarter.
The point of that is there's a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds that are fucking super smart over there, but I don't think anybody has the clout or power over their own league like he does. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm thinking not just black athletes, but any athlete. Like the best player in baseball is very clearly Mike Trout. He's the most talented baseball player. He might be the best baseball player that's ever walked the face of this earth, to be honest. We'll see in another 10 years, but if he said, I'm not playing this year because of X, Y, Z, they're like, all right, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And part of that is because MLB is way bigger than the NBA, I mean, and they don't have nearly as much leverage over shit going on there. But, man, LeBron James you're absolutely right. He could shut down that league today. He could come out. He could tweet right now. He didn't have to call anybody. He could tweet like, hey, I'm not playing until something's done. And I promise you something would get done.
Because right now the players have until Wednesday, I believe, to announce whether or not they're going to play in this playoff system. A couple of them have said they weren't. One was from the Washington Wizards. He's nursing an injury.
Yeah, he's up for a contract.
Correct.
And he's had 2 ACL
He's going to make a lot of money,
surgery,
and he's not a superstar. So I understand this is probably the biggest contract he will ever sign, and everything is on the line for this guy. I understand it. Another one was for the Portland Trail Blazers. Now he's sacrificing a lot. He is in a weird custody suit where he gets to see his child for 1 month because of COVID and the way that this was pushed and what he negotiated in this court settlement. That month is starting in August.
Yeah, it's Trevor Ariza.
Yeah.
Who's played for everybody at this point.
But he's great. Trevor Ariza's great.
He's one of the best 3-and-D guys.
Correct.
In the last 15 years, probably.
But he said, hey, man, I'm going to spend this month with my child because of the child support, and he's giving up $1.8 million.
I mean, they're 3 games back, and they got 8 games to play in, so they probably weren't going to make it anyways.
Yeah, but $1.8 million is a lot of money to sacrifice.
It is.
Because you don't get any of it. If he plays, at least he gets the money.
Yeah.
Regardless if he makes the playoffs. So that's a big sacrifice. But, Kyrie Irving coming out and saying shit does nothing. He's fucking injured.
No, none of this stuff does anything. This is why... There's 2 main reasons why it's not like liberalism, neoliberalism, not classical liberalism, but like the current Democratic Party and white liberals in general have fucking failed entirely for 2 reasons. One, it's all these fucking platitudes, wearing fucking kente garb and kneeling and fucking washing people's feet and shit. Fuck you, man. Do something fucking real. You know what I mean? These are all the equivalent of physical acts of thoughts and prayer. You didn't do shit for anybody. Nancy Pelosi fucking wearing that kente bullshit. Why don't you get your husband, who's used your position in Congress to make hundreds of millions of fucking dollars? Why don't you get him to hire a bunch of black people and start a bunch of black small businesses, you fucking cunt? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you've done nothing for anybody except for use it as a fucking photo op to make yourself look better.
She went to Chinatown during
COVID. She is
COVID.
a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't wait for her fucking term in this world to be over.
Well, we'll find out in November.
No, I mean in the world. So you've done nothing. All of these fucking bullshit, like even Jordan, we're going to give $100 million over the next 10 years to what the fuck, to what, motherfucker? Yeah. Why don't you just go start a bunch of subsidiary companies and hire black CEOs and hire black employees and get them educated and careers and shit like that. So this generation does well, but the next generation does great.
Right.
That's how you fucking do it. It's basic economics. And the Democratic Party wants to keep them on the tit, obviously.
Yeah.
Like anytime anybody fucking calls out their behavior, oh, you're fucking racist. No, dude, I just want to fucking solve the problem because I care about my fucking country. And you clearly don't. You care about yourself.
Michael Jordan is the best example of a guy that's could have done more, socially for injustice.
He could have ended this shit 30 years ago.
But he didn't want to. He just wanted to play basketball.
Instead of retiring in 94, he could have said, you know what, I'm not going to play again until fucking you guys start doing this shit. And this is about the time when they were talking about the crime bill publicly before it got passed in 95. He could have been like, fuck you. Like, you guys don't let this happen or I'm done. Like that's what LeBron is trying to say here, I think. I think he doesn't understand, or he just doesn't know what to do with all the power he has. And that's, to be frank, although I don't like him as a person, that is the kind of person that you want in that position. But he needs to listen to people that know what the fuck they're talking about, not just the same old tired bullshit. Motherfucker, Democrats have been in charge for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And if they were going to fix shit, they would have fucking fixed it by now. And the Republicans haven't given a shit. They've never cared, which is stupid because they have all the answers. Fuck all these tax breaks and all that bullshit. That part of the Republican Party and the corporate welfare stuff and the rapid expansion of government over the last 20 years, that's not what anybody had. That's not what Thomas Jefferson had in mind. For sure. It's bullshit. Both parties have completely failed.
YouTube is live, huh? Probably are. It'd be great.
Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Oh, is it on the same stream? No shit. Wow. How does that work?
Just packets. Data packets. The weather's weird here.
We've had some wild shit here, man.
Yeah. I think it's Democrats probably trying to keep me from talking about
As soon as you started talking
about
about Pelosi, shit got shut down. You notice that?
I was talking shit about China, too, so who knows?
That's funny, man. So are we back on? Yeah. All right. Here we go, kids. That's what happens. You talk about Pelosi, they shut your shit down. We just had a crazy power surge. There's wild storms here and a fucking heat wave.
Yeah,
that's going on. Reached triple digits yesterday here.
Anyways, back to what I was saying.
Yeah. You said you can't wait for Nancy Pelosi to expire from this earth.
No, after that.
And Frank?
I'm irritated that it's so irritating that one, that the left has been taking advantage of the black community in this country for so long, and two, that the black community is unwilling to admit that because there's plenty of evidence for it. Like, the Democrats had a supermajority, right? That's how they got Obamacare passed. And what did they do for fucking any of this shit? Like, instead of here's what the left could have done, and nobody on the right would have been able to fucking contest it. During that time period between 2009 and 2012, they could have said, hey, we're going to give a huge corporate tax break. And everybody would have been like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because that's not a very democratic thing to do.
Right.
And they could have said that in return for this tax break, we want companies getting it to invest money into a fund that's going to stimulate education and career building for the black community. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everybody would have been okay with that. It would have been really hard to say no to it. Like, the Republican folks would not have been able to object to it because all of their friends in the private business world would have been getting paid off, right? Sometimes you got to bribe people to get shit done. Like, watch the movie.
I agree.
Watch the movie Lincoln. Did Lincoln say, hey, we're going to fucking hold a vote and fucking blah, blah, blah? No, he threatened and fucking and blackmailed and bribed people to make sure the 13th Amendment happened. He did everything that he could, ethical or otherwise, to make sure it happened.
Right.
And now we are so fucking rigid with these party lines. Like, oh, I can't offer a tax break. We're fucking Democrats, dude. Get out of here. That would be dismissed so rapidly. And that's why political parties are intellectually bankrupt. It's nonsense. It's like, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it's like you're trying to communicate with somebody that speaks Spanish and you speak English, and both parties refuse to learn the other person's language. So we just talk louder.
Yeah.
And nobody understands what the fuck is going on. Hey, good job, guys. That was definitely worth fighting for. It's worth my friends dying for because you fucking cunts can't get your shit together and make some kind of fucking agreement. And this is why I don't vote.
Well, it definitely is not going to change with this vote.
It's certainly not, no. And it's not, and it's this is a failure of Democratic and black leadership. It's a failure in Democratic leadership because they are completely full of shit. They just want to keep people on the tit. And it's a failure in black leadership because if you're not happy, like you don't have to choose between Democrat and Republican. Just go find a third party that make up a party that's like, we call it the Civil Rights Party or some shit like that.
Right.
Who cares, man? I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. It's not binary. You can choose other shit. But what you can't do is keep riding the losing horse and expect to win. It doesn't work that way. So these people fucking failed on like both sides of the aisle. And the fact that there's an aisle and two sides of it, as fucked up as it is, but the fact that they've continuously fucked us over as a unit forever is it boggles the goddamn mind. It honestly does. And I don't understand how any reasonable, rational person could continue taking part in this shit on a day-to-day basis. Like when all these get out the vote things, they're very specific about who they want you to get out the vote for.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like, come on, that whole vote or die bullshit, get fucked, dude. Get fucked with that. And then fucking Bill Clinton on MTV playing the fucking saxophone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the first black president. No, you're not, dude. You and your wife passed a crime bill to put 3 million black men in jail, motherfucker. You created the problem that exists right now. Are you fucking kidding me? Sports, though.
Rock the vote. Rock the vote, brother. Yeah. Look, it's only going to get worse and worse, and I am looking forward to November being over with, to be honest with you. I just want a winner, and I want to move on with the next 4 years of my life. That's it.
I don't care.
Unfortunately, the run-up to that in the next 4 months is going to be absolute pure insanity.
I don't think, the next couple of months are going to be wild as fuck.
Oh, Jesus
Christ.
Because
Trump is just unhinged, saying dumb shit, and nobody even knows where Biden is.
I haven't seen him.
Like it's two very different strategies. The one strategy is, hey, I'm full of shit, so I'm just gonna hide. And the other one's just like, I don't give a fuck about nothing, man. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
It's like a caricature of George Bush. Remember when George Bush talked all that cowboy bullshit all the time? Trump does it, but it's like a rich guy doing it. You know what I mean? It's like Thurston Howell on the island, like fucking giving orders and talking shit to people and stuff. Like, just relax, dude.
Did you see him drinking the water on Saturday night?
Yeah.
And then tossing the
glass?
glass?
Was pretty funny.
Hilarious.
That was pretty
hilarious.
funny.
I just wonder which one wins in a year like this with this much contention and chaos and the pandemic and all that shit. Like, is it the guy who's out in front of all your faces, or is it the guy who just says nothing and you can't even find him? Well, he did agree to 3 debates yesterday. So.
I can't wait for that. That'll be that'll make it all worthwhile. I don't care if the country doesn't even exist after November. I just want to see these debates.
Everybody does, and everybody wants to see this MLB season of 60 games. D'Anthony, is this going down? Actually,
if they're going to go 60 games, I think they need to go to a 4-man rotation or something. But I've got a lot of ideas about how baseball can fix themselves because I think they've lost.
Starting with this 60-game season.
No, I mean like just in general.
Okay.
I think I've said this before, but I think limiting the staff to 10 total pitchers instead of 12 would be a good way to do that because you can't just bring in a fucking different reliever for everything.
Yeah.
That's what causes all these fucking all this bullshit.
0-0,
and the other
0-1.
The other thing is the attitude of the players, man. Like you guys are you are a product. And if people don't like your product, they're not going to buy your product. And if you take fucking 30 seconds to walk from the on-deck circle and get up to bat, it's going to lengthen the game by an average of about 45 minutes per game.
Right.
In a game that should take about 1.5 to 2 hours and 15, right? Instead, now it's 3+ hours for every single game.
Every game.
And it's because of you and your bullshit.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not like putting a timer on the pitcher. Like, I mean, I guess you could do that, but just change your attitude, man. Like, if you want the Major League Baseball needs to have a conversation with their players and say, hey, this isn't fucking your leisure. You're not playing golf out here, motherfucker. Yeah. Get your shit together. This is a packaged product. People want to fucking have a beginning, then they want to have a narrative that carries out through the game, and then they want to have a resolution to that narrative. That is what sports is, right? It's just like literature. It's a book, right? And each game is a chapter, and if we've all been reading books, and the chapters are 5 to 15 pages each, and then you come across like some fucking 30-page chapter, and you're like, God damn, dude, and you put the fucking book down.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody to be able to put your product down. I want it in your face all the time. Every single moment is exciting. That's why I think limiting the amount of pitchers and changing the attitude generally, but also things like keeping players on the field mic'd up. Otherwise, I think baseball might go away.
It might. I was at a very short baseball game one time. It only happened to me once. I've gone to a lot of fucking baseball games over the years. It was the Los Angeles Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw was pitching.
Oh, yeah. He's thrown a couple of, hour-and-a-half games.
It was an hour and 51 minutes. It was 0-0. Dodgers scored bottom of the ninth. It was a 1-0 game. Everybody was out of there. Everybody went home. I can't, it's strange because after being at a game like that, look, Clayton Kershaw is masterful. So was the other pitcher. I forget who was throwing that night. But I didn't enjoy it because, there was maybe 5 or 6 hits total in the game. And even the run that was scored was a sac fly. Nothing exciting. Dodgers won the game, but it was I kind of felt like I was just visiting, not really into it. It's strange. So to speed up the game that quickly, I don't know how to do that because if there's a lot of offense, the game will naturally go longer.
Right.
But if there isn't, it will be short as fuck like that. And
no one cares when it's a huge offensive game, though, because part of it was exciting enough for the rest of it to not matter. And I've watched games that are some of those Yankees-Red Sox games were fucking 14-12.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Those are my favorites, personally.
Those are great.
Yeah.
But you just don't see that style. I think pitching is just not as good as it used to be. Is another problem.
No, and that's why they're getting so much money, the Garrett Coles and Clayton Kershaws of the world, because you're right. They're not as good.
Do you know what it means to throw a Maddox?
What's that?
It's a shutout with fewer than 100
88 pitches? Yeah, I was going to say. That guy.
He did it 13 times in his career. This wasn't back in the fucking 1912s or that bullshit. This was in the fucking late 80s and mostly through the 90s.
Yeah.
13 times, which is more shutouts than a lot of dudes will ever have in their career. He threw a shutout with less than 100 pitches.
I feel like it was always right around the 88 pitch mark for him.
One time against the Giants, he threw 68 pitches over 8 innings shutout, but he got pulled.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. That's, I don't know.
So Major League Baseball is targeting a 60-game season starting around July 24th, assuming there's 2 more conditions that need to be met. The players need to sign off on a health and safety protocol and pledge to arrive at home stadiums by July 1st to prepare for the season. So you're looking at roughly 7 days for that. That needs to go down. The owners voted to implement a 60-game season on Monday, and that's kind of what we're left at. When I heard this, what I initially thought to myself was, if this works, let's say it's the most exciting 60 games you've ever seen in Major League Baseball history. How do you go back to 162 games after this?
I don't know what the purpose of 162 games is anyways. I mean,
I don't either.
It is the most – I don't give a fuck. Hockey is a physical sport. You get injured a lot in football. I got it, man. But Major League Baseball plays 162 games in about 178 days.
Yeah. You don't have –
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
That's crazy as shit.
It's crazy.
They play that much. In college, they play 35 games or something like that?
Yeah.
That's – I don't know if your body can hold up to that, or maybe it can hold up to it if everybody's on fucking testosterone, which I'm fine with. Again, by the way,
start to juice up, brother.
Whose integrity are we protecting here? We're anti-science because of integrity.
I don't know.
I want to see the best possible product on the field.
Same.
Give everybody all the juice they want.
Same. So look, if this goes down, I'll be amped about it.
I mean, it's going to happen.
Games.
It's going to happen.
I hope so. We'll get to why. We're going to do the sponsors first, and we'll get to why I think it might not happen afterwards. But first, like we said at the top of the show, KillcliffCBD.com is our title sponsor for the entire year on our sports show. Finest CBD products in the land, man. I drink a can of this shit a night. My dad does. If you have joint pain or any other issues, man, this will relax you. And these Kill Cliff CBD and vodkas are the drink of the summer, man. Everybody's fucking mixing this shit together. I am all in on KillcliffCBD.com. 3 amazing flavors. You got grape, mango, and orange kush. 25 milligrams of CBD in every can, and there's no THC, so you will not piss hot on a drug test out there. You get 20% off a case with the promo code Drinkin Bros and free shipping. So go to KillcliffCBD.com today. Promo code Drinkin Bros, 20% off and free shipping. Next up, We got ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. 25% off everything in the entire store there. You're just going to the URL on this one, kids. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. 2 free pillows with every single mattress that you order right now. And as always, they got that 36-month pay-as-you-go program that is no interest on that, and it's still applicable with this deal. So now's the time to load up, man. I knew they were doing it all through the quarantine, and they've extended it because there's still a lot of shit that isn't open and people that aren't back to work. I don't know how much longer they're going to do it, but they're doing it now. So go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today and get on it. And then last but not least, Anthony, since you were talking about Liquid IV earlier, let's talk about it now, man. So I drink a can of Kill Cliff every night, right before I go to bed, essentially. If I'm on the weekends and I'm having some drinks with some people, I'll mix it up in vodka. When I start my day, though, I always have Liquid IV. This was my personal request on this show because I drink this fucking shit every day.
Yeah.
And so does everybody else. I get a message from Jordan Wenzel today. He was just like, yo, dude, I just got that Liquid IV. It's the fucking
really good
shit that changed my life. If you're hungover or just starting your day off, man, you can have like one, bottle of water this size. And it's essentially, if you put a packet of the Liquid IV in it, it's essentially 3 at that point. Yeah. It just rehydrates you super fast. And if you're not a crazy fan of the taste of water, this will at least mix it up for you a little bit. So go to liquidiv.com. It is like getting an IV.
The flavors are
That's
good.
the name. The flavors are great, man.
I'm a big lemon lime fan in the morning. Like I drink one of these.
The acai berry is my jam.
In the morning, and then at night I have the, well, we don't have one here, but I take the one that has melatonin in it. It's like blueberry lavender flavored. It's really good.
It's great. I'm drinking it right now out of this solo cup. So at liquidiv.com, use the promo code Drinkin Bros and get 25% off everything there. All of the drinks there. It's liquidiv.com. Big fan of those guys. The reason why I said if Major League Baseball happens, there's a lot of reports popping up, Dan, about COVID creeping into every facet of sports right now. LSU has privately said that it's probably close to 30 players who have contracted COVID.
Yeah.
And they're isolated. LSU, I'm sorry, no, I just said LSU. Clemson, 23 players. There's a women's soccer team down in Orlando. 13 players got it. They've already canceled their season.
What?
Women's soccer team.
They do that?
Apparently they do. Look, it's the best in our nation. We don't have any men's players here, so.
No,
you know?
No, we don't.
We got the ladies though playing.
Yeah.
Djokovic threw a fucking party.
Yep.
They had a little tournament in Croatia that they were trying to get going. These guys got fucking wet at a party together. I mean, he was shirtless. He tested positive for COVID afterwards. They had to cancel that tournament as well.
The tennis, to me, is a little bit different because it's a single. Like, there's no
golf has been fine.
There's no need to have a bunch of old coaches around. Like that's the only thing I can see from the NFL, NBA, or Major League Baseball is that a lot of the coaches are older and they are in that like risk age, 55 or older, which is where 93% of all COVID cases and deaths come from. By the way,
yes,
not cases but deaths.
Right.
And the survival rate for people under 55, it's like 99.9997 or something like that. So I feel like maybe just send all the old people home and do your shit. I don't know.
So what's going to happen here? Let's say everybody gets COVID, and this just keeps happening as we get closer and closer to the start of the season. Do you think we will have sports? Because look, the Phillies are the other one, by the way. Phillies spring training camp got shut down. A bunch of people tested positive there.
Man,
shut down.
Just give everybody fucking COVID. Give all these 25-year-old athletes COVID and let them fucking process it.
They should have done that. Exactly what I'm asking.
They should have done that shit in April. Like as soon as we knew this was going to shut everything down over the summer. Like, hey, look, here's a plan. Why don't you go out and get COVID, and then you have antibodies for it, and you can come back and play, and nobody will give a shit.
Yeah,
motherfucker, because you are like there is not a less risky environment. Or I'm sorry, there's not a person that's less at risk for COVID than a professional goddamn athlete in their 20s.
With the best
Are you
doctors
kidding me?
on the planet.
Like,
Yeah,
come
I
on,
agree.
man. It's fucking retarded.
I agree.
But it's not like that's not how it works, right? So,
but I'm genuinely asking that question. Should it work like that? Because LSU came out and said, "Hey, this is working exactly what we had planned for. All these guys are isolated. They're not going anywhere else. We know of their condition. We know of their cases." I think if LSU and Clemson succeed through this, it could be the best case study for team sports returning, where it's like, hey, man, half our fucking teams got it. We were able to contain it. Now let's go back and fucking play.
Yeah.
But how do you tell a kid to go out and get COVID like Dan just said?
I don't know how, like, it's at one point, chicken pox would kill you.
Yeah.
Right? Because we didn't have, not kill you, but if you were like immunocompromised and young, especially, or if you're older and get chicken pox, you could die from that.
Yeah.
It gets way worse, and then it turns into shingles when you're older. And people have parties where one child in the neighborhood gets chicken pox, and everybody with a child that age is like, all right, let's round them all up, rub their faces together so we can get this shit over with. Like, why not? It doesn't make sense.
Was that real, or
you never heard of chicken box parties?
Chicken box parties? No, I have not.
Yeah, that's absolutely a real thing. Yeah.
Really?
And why would it not be?
Because I've got kids and I've never heard of it.
Do you know how many people, do you know how many infants have died of COVID? Under 1 year old.
Yeah, it's like 4 or something
8.
like that. Okay.
8. I mean, come on, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
I just, the fucking, people have the audacity to say, oh, you're fucking anti-science. Like, yeah, I'm anti-science. Get fucked.
Dan is all science.
But
you're anti everything else, but all science.
Like, we people have a really hard time having difficult conversations. And here's a difficult conversation to have. Risk versus reward, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how much are we willing to risk to keep old people alive? I've been saying this for fucking months since this shit started.
Yeah.
There is a direct and causal link, not correlative, but causal link between poverty and death among people 14 years and younger, right? You can find it on the internet. It's everywhere. There are some cases, actually, this is in third world areas, right? Mm-hmm. For the most part, that data comes from third world areas. But when you're talking about poverty in this country at the same time as a pandemic, you have to realize that, one, they have less access to the healthcare, and two, there's not support systems for people that are impoverished in this country for the most part, except for fucking shitty welfare stuff.
Right.
So they're essentially operating in the same kind of capacity. Children are going to die from poverty-related bullshit because we're struggling and shutting down our economy to protect old people. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, in what world is that okay to do that? I don't give a fuck about the science. I don't care even if the numbers were worse than they are right now, I would still have the same opinion. We cannot sacrifice young people for old people. Like, what the fuck, man? So,
because of how sensitive everybody is in the world right now, if more and more of these teams and players start getting COVID, and look, Ezekiel Elliott was trying to hide it, for Christ's sakes. Yeah. And I don't blame him. Shit, he wants to play. Everybody wants to play. And he knows if a superstar comes out and has COVID, it's going to make headline news, right? Mm-hmm. Same with Kevin Durant when he had it. What's going to happen? Do you think they will actually shut down the season? Because I believe yes, for football.
Yeah, probably.
Because if you look at kids,
it's bad press because people are stupid. Like, no one wants to have that conversation, and people. I mean, it's flattering that people are always telling me to get into politics and shit, but I could never say this if I was in politics. No. I wouldn't last an hour. No one would vote for me ever. Like, not enough people would vote for me because people are fucking stupid and they believe what they believe. Like, think about the idea of a belief in a world that's defined by physics, ones and zeros, right? And there's stuff about quantum physics we don't really understand, but we know that there's a fucking a system governing that, right? There's something governing that. We just haven't figured out exactly what the details are yet. In a world that is 100% defined by science, by physics, by mathematics, we hold on to our beliefs more than anything. Like, people still believe the craziest shit. And it's easy to get people to believe crazy shit. All you have to do is take a little bit of truth and add a little bit of their fucking bias into it, and they'll believe whatever the fuck you say.
Right.
Like, if I could write a fake article right now about voter fraud, and put it on Facebook, and it would get shared 100,000 times in 2 hours. People are like, see, I fucking told you, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's even fucking true or not. Nobody, people research right up to the point where their own bias is confirmed, then they go home, right? Come on, man. It's fucking dumb. Everybody's a fucking idiot. Don't be an idiot, please. If you're out there, don't be an idiot. Don't be so fucking stupid that you believe what these people are telling you.
Yeah, I mean, look, CBS Sports is saying, did college football return too soon? Positive COVID-19 test generating negative views.
Did people expect there not to be any cases?
I think they did. They just didn't expect this many. Kansas State has now voluntarily suspended workouts for 2 weeks after 13 positives. Houston University, which, look, Kansas State and Houston aren't competing for championships anyway, so clear them out. Houston halted activities after 6 positives. LSU's got 30, and then obviously Clemson was in there with 23. Man, I hope not. If so, man, that would fuck up the entire fall. Like, there is one sport that I definitely want to see on this earth per year.
It's football?
It's football.
Yeah.
Is yours baseball?
Yeah, but I mean, I could, to be honest, I don't need new baseball. I could just watch old baseball. Baseball is baseball to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it could be shit from the 20s. What I find interesting about baseball is not novelty or any of that shit. It's the game itself. Yeah. So I could watch it. This won't affect me at all. Except for, like, I like to travel to the events. Yeah. And see these fucking dumb dicks. Yeah. That's what I like to do. I like to go to games with the fucking fans. That's what I like.
Same. And speaking of which, I think we can talk about this now because I think it's going to launch next Tuesday or Wednesday. For years, we've gone to StubHub and fucking Vivid Seats and all that other bullshit to buy tickets. The fucking truth of it is, it's just the same. What do you call that in the background of these websites? Same user face or
interface?
Yeah,
interface. It's the same. It's like,
I know nothing about the internet.
All the people that are ticket brokers across the country all use the same feed. Basically, it's like an RSS feed of all the available tickets. Yes. and whatever the fuck. So, all of them.
Tickets Now, all that other shit.
StubHub, all of those companies use the same thing. So basically, what we're doing is we're starting one with Benny.
Benny, the ticket guru, has been on the show numerous times. Yeah. So we're going to open drinkinbrostickets.com starting next week. And part of the reason behind this was we found out behind the system, all these ticket services are using the same user face and all that other shits, right? And it all feeds into the same goddamn thing. You can still knock the tickets down by like $10 to $12. Yeah. Which we're going to do. But more importantly, because we go to all of these events, we want to say, hey, man, come to whatever event we're at. You know, let's say the Dallas Cowboys versus the Falcons game. That's the first one that comes to mind. Because let's face it, the Falcons are going to be playing in Cowboy Stadium in Jerry World, which we enjoy that stadium a lot. We'll be able to say on air, hey, guys, go to drinkinbrostickets.com. We're going to be sitting in section 106, row 13, seat 5 and 6. Try to get tickets around us. Do it. Come to the sites. If we have any extras, we're going to start giving those out to people. I don't know. It's kind of been a dream of ours to do this, and the time is right now because everybody kind of stopped. SeatGeek, everything kind of went out of business. So it's like, all right, fuck it. We finally had the time to set up the search engines and all that shit. So it's just as easy as every other goddamn app, and you're going to save about $10 to $12, and that'll start next week. drinkinbrostickets.com. You'll be able to get tickets for everything. Same as StubHub or anywhere else. Fucking Super Bowl, Masters, whatever you want, will be on there, and we're amped about it. So that'll start next week. And again, whatever events we go to, we'll just say, hey, man, go buy tickets. Here's what section we're in and which row, and come sit with us and party with us and all that other shit. I don't think any show on the planet's been able to do that.
No, Ruben Snyder's asking if it's sports or concerts. It's everything. Everything that you can find on
Rolling Stones,
StubHub,
Elton
or any
John,
of that bullshit, except for we're not going to have the user-generated stuff. Like, you're not going to be able to go sell, not at first at least, you're not going to be able to go sell your own tickets on there.
No. Because that's too difficult.
We just don't want to fuck with that.
No. We just want you to be able to buy tickets and get it like a $10 savings at least, and then find out where we are.
And we're working on a feature that'll, like, when you go to the site, it'll have, like, you can, there's a separate category for shit that one of us, me, Ross, or Jared are actually going to be at, whether it's a concert or one of our live shows or an actual sporting event or whatever the case is.
And you can just go and we'll rage with you. We've never had a fucking bad time at any Drinking Bros event we've ever been to, ever. You guys have been nothing but accommodating to us and all that other shit. And the hardest part about it has been like, hey, man, where are you guys sitting? How do we get seats? Can we at least look next to your section or row or wherever you guys are? And it's like, man, you know, a lot of times tickets are given to us. Or
half the time we don't even know.
We don't know.
Until we get there and somebody hands us the physical tickets.
Now we do, and we control it, and you can see where we are, and it's going to be fucking awesome. So we're amped. I hope all this shit comes back. Regardless, our site will be up and at 'em forever, and then you guys can come and fucking rage with us, dude. So it's going to be great. And it's the same as StubHub. So it's a huge announcement. We've been working on that during the COVID because it was like, all right, everybody's shut down. We can finally spend some time on this. And that'll be live next Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're amped about it. I'm not sure what's going to happen here with the upcoming season. I am with you, Dan. I hope everybody gets COVID, gets over COVID, and is able to play.
I'm gonna go get tested probably next week. So
Are you? There's a station open right next to our office.
Well,
you know that, right?
I'm
drive through.
I'm going because I have I get blood like once every 55 days or 56 days, whatever it is.
Right.
Because of my hematocrit gets really high because I take TRT. Like my red blood cell count gets really high, so I just go dump blood basically. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Fuck is wrong with these guys? So I just go dump blood. But one, I don't want to do it myself because I get bored and I'll fall asleep and just bleed out.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to go to a lab because they charge you like $80 to do it.
Have you tried to do it yourself?
I mean, I've given myself IVs before. It's the same principle.
Okay.
But if you go to Red Cross, and they're not paying me to say this because I don't think they do that.
No, they don't pay.
But they will pay you to come in and get blood or platelets. They'll give you like 20,
really?
They'll give you like not that I'm going to get one, but
yeah.
They'll give you like a $20 gift card to Amazon or some shit just for coming in and giving blood. They're hurting for blood right now. I showed up with a bunch in a bag and they said no.
Right. That's never how that works.
No, it was like a grocery bag and I just kind of tied a bow in the top.
Yep. And it was seeping
full.
Out the plastic. Yeah.
Well, there were some droplets coming down the side, but it was fine. And I handed it to them, and they were like, "No, we can't take this." They handed it back to me, so I just dropped it on the ground and left.
Yeah.
And it went everywhere.
Yeah. But now you're going to go back the right way and get a gift card for Olive Garden for $20.
I wanted to. Well, I wouldn't take that. I pay full price at Olive Garden.
Well, because you got to support the Italians.
I'm not taking their money.
Yeah, that built that restaurant.
No.
A lot of immigrants came over and built those restaurants with their hands. So we got to support the Italians on that one. I don't know where you were going with that blood thing, but I liked all of it.
So one of the things they do if you come in and give blood, they'll fucking give you a free COVID antibody test.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm just going to get it because I'm already going to be there. I wouldn't go out of my way to get it because I don't give two fucks about any of that shit.
Let me know how it works out for you.
I don't care.
If you're positive or negative.
I'm sure that I have had COVID.
It's the same.
There's no way with our travel schedule between January and April that we didn't.
No, dude. No.
There's no fucking way.
It would be great if MyBookie put odds on it for us.
I don't think they would. I mean, we could do that internally, I guess. But somebody would have to be the bank for it.
Yeah, they would.
It's not going to be me.
And look, MyBookie.com, there's nothing to bet on currently today, but they are our sponsor, and they will be our gambling sponsor for the entire year. Promo code Drinkin Bros will get you 50% of that deposit back. So if you put in 100, you get 150 out of it. I've already placed my bets. If you don't follow us live on Drinkin Bros Sports, it's a private Facebook page. I post my actual bets on there. So I did go out and bet on mybookie.com. I bet on the NBA playoffs because again, the shit's going to start here pretty soon. I put money on the Clippers to win, and my underdogs were Houston Rockets and Denver Nuggets. So those are the three that I put some cash on, and I'll post those in there. I put 300 on the Clippers. I put 200 on the Rockets, and I threw $100 on the Denver Nuggets just to do it. So we'll see. The Houston Rockets keep creeping in the back of my mind, though. So we'll find out. But my bookie's going to be with us all year long. Promo code Drinkin Bros will give you half your deposit back to you, man. So you're getting 150% there. Coming right at you.
You know, there's 2 police officers stationed at both Confederate monuments right down the street here.
Right now?
They have been for several.
Are you kidding? I wonder if one of them was my neighbor.
They have them roped off.
Really?
Curfew beside the monument of 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, a curfew next to the monument at 7 p.m. It's been a wild show today. The power's gone out. There's weird storms here. It's 100 degrees. There's 2 police officers. We're in a tiny
So it's
town
20.
of
It's 20,000
people.
24 hours a day. The average cop makes about $25 an hour here in Wilmington. So that's what, $2,400 a day that we're spending.
What statue is it? Do you guys know?
The Confederate statue on 4th and Market.
Yes.
And then the other one is like
It's
the Confederate statue on 4th and Market.
It's the one
I'm
like
drive down
honoring Confederate soldiers or something like that.
Jefferson Davis? Or is that a Thomas Jefferson?
Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederacy.
Oh, okay.
Ross.
Oh,
You're from Georgia.
Here's the thing, man. I know I'm from Georgia, obviously, but we didn't learn that much about the Civil War growing up.
Yeah, you want to know why?
You know?
Because if they tell you the truth, then you have to fucking respond to it. That's why. That's why.
It was kind of just glossed over. It was like, well, the Union won that one, and that was it. And it was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I learned more, I think, about Ulysses S. Grant than I did about Robert E. Lee.
Well, Robert E. Lee was probably a better person overall, to be honest.
Either way, they took down the Grant statues, too. And what was it, San Francisco?
Well, Grant was kind of a cunt, to be honest. It is what it is, I suppose.
So that's real. That's going on in Wilmington right now.
Yeah, they've been there for several days now.
No fucking way,
Like,
dude.
they're just parked right next to it with their fucking lights not flashing but on consistently.
I wish my bookie would put up statues going down. Like the over-under, or if people are going to rip that fucking Thomas Jefferson statue
I don't
down.
know if you saw what fucking Trump tweeted this morning.
What did he say?
He says, actually, it was last night. He says, I've authorized the federal government to arrest anyone who vandalizes or destroys any monument, statue, or other such federal property in the U.S. with up to 10 years in prison per the Veterans Memorial Preservation Act,
right,
or other laws that may be pertinent. He also says that law is in effect immediately and it will be applied retroactively to anybody that's fucked up statues already.
Yeah. Yeah, I did read that last night, but it's too late at this point, I think. Big Dick Danoff is asking, what about Stone Mountain in Georgia? It's a great question, and somebody asked me that the other day. So Stone Mountain in Georgia is like our most famous monument, right? Well, they carved in the 4 Confederate, I think it's Robert E. Lee, Jefferson Davis, and I forget who the other 2 are.
So it's like
find who's on Stone Mountain.
It's Mount Rushmore for assholes
for the Confederacy, right?
Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee, and Jeff Davis.
That's it.
I call him Jeff because we knew each other.
So everybody's asking what's going to happen with this. The way that it is carved into the side of this mountain, it is enough. They said for the length of 5 buses. So that's how deep it's in. I don't know how long it would take to chip away at that. You probably have to throw some dynamite.
Why don't they just chisel like big dicks going into all their mouths?
It'd be a nice flex.
Like just a big hog sitting up next to it, like this way, like a big black one too.
Or just the meme.
Yeah, this like you don't even have to do anything. Just make a giant, like get a giant like Macy's Day parade float.
Be great
of the fucking black dude with a giant dick and just have him squatting over the top of these assholes.
Or you put the top 4 Georgia athletes of all time there, which would be a good one. Because Deion Sanders.
Yeah, but that would cost way too much money. You could make that float for $100,000.
Yeah, but
and you could keep like
if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it.
You could since it's made out of that material, it's like a silk material, like silk and polyester material. I think you could probably run fluid through it at the bottom. Have like a separate chamber.
Oh, and just have it shoot out all over.
It's just like every fucking like Old Faithful.
It's
every
like
45
Bellagio.
minutes,
It's like the fountains of Bellagio.
Yeah, every 45 minutes it blasts jizz right into their face.
Yeah.
How fucking funny would that? I would go there today if that were the case.
You know, they used to do laser shows there with Leonard Skinner. So
I'm sure they did. It's heritage. It ain't hate.
My top 4, if you're going to replace it on Stone Mountain, Georgia superstars, I'd go with Deion. Prime time, obviously. You got to put Prime on there. Dale Murphy.
Is he from Georgia? Are you talking about people that played for Georgia-based teams?
Georgia-based teams, yeah. Yeah. So you got to go Deion Sanders. I think you got to go Dominique Wilkins. You got to go Dale Murphy.
Dale Murphy.
Dale Murphy was
Chipper
should be in
Jones.
the Hall of Fame, dude.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But Chipper Jones is infinitely better than Dale Murphy.
Agreed. But that maybe that's your fourth, man.
If you're taking one from, you got to take one from every sport.
Who's
not
football
hockey.
would probably be Herschel Walker then.
I think Deion probably had a better career, to be honest. Like Herschel Walker played a skill position, so his stats look better. But Deion Sanders is a better football player than Herschel Walker was.
Yeah, Billy White Shoes Johnson, throw him on there. Steve Bartkowski.
What about Tim Dwight? He was fast as fuck, dude. He's the fastest white person of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
Hank Aaron, somebody said. Yes. Fuck. How did I forget Hank Aaron?
He wasn't in Atlanta for very long. He was mostly
in Milwaukee.
But yeah, for sure Hank Aaron belongs there. I'd be fine with
John Rocker.
Hank, yeah.
Somebody said.
I'd be fine with Hank Aaron and I guess Dominique. I don't know if the
Dominique,
like if they had a better player than him.
Spud Webb.
Maybe Trae Young 15 years from now will be better than Dominique was. Probably he will, actually. But
Deion Sanders and then Maddox. Chipper.
You could pick.
You could
30
just put.
Braves.
You could put Glavin, Maddox,
and
Schmaltz on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my idea is better.
Yeah, blasting loads.
Like
all over
you couldn't
their faces.
necessarily take your maybe during that's only 7 p.m. and later, and then during the day for kids there's something else.
Yeah,
you know
of course. So you have Stone Mountain After Dark, which is loads being blasted all over the Confederacy.
Yeah,
and then a kids thing where it's water cannons.
Water cannons.
Like, come get wet.
Like from the civil rights stuff, like blasting.
No.
Oh,
Like for kids to run, like under the water. It sprays off the side of the mountain. Jesus, no, you're not bringing them back to the '60s. We're not setting up.
You're the one that said it.
I wonder what the weirdest bet is on mybookie.com right now.
Who knows?
I love looking at their weird ass shit, man. Their election odds are up. Ooh, there's a fun one, but I don't think we have internet. Classic this year,
Yeah.
Let's go over the election odds real quick on mybookie.com here. Just to do it, dude. Just to fucking do it, brother. The presidential election odds, because everybody's got Biden up. Holy shit. This has really changed. Biden is now the favorite at minus 140. Trump is plus 100.
That won't last.
Might as well put some fucking money down on that, son. Shit.
That won't last beyond the first debate.
So here we go. 2020 presidential election. You can bet on this on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros. We'll half that deposit up. Republican is the winning party. Republican minus 105. Democrat minus 135. So again, they're fully picking Biden to win. And by the way, if you're wondering why they're putting Republican and Democrat up there instead of as another bet beyond Biden and Trump, this is assuming Biden dies. And I know that's fucking creepy, but a lot of places have been doing that, especially betting wise. The VP odds have now changed. Kamala Harris is now the favorite at minus 150.
She's always been the favorite
for VP. I don't think so, but
to me, she's always been the favorite.
Elizabeth Warren is at plus 1,300. I'm going to throw some money on that. Val Demings is second at plus 450. I don't even know who that is.
Let's look her up.
I've never heard of Val Demings before.
Congresswoman from Florida.
Well, look, that's the biggest complaint is if you're going to pick Warren or Harris.
Yeah, you already got those states locked up.
You already got those states locked up. Florida is always a swing state, so
it is, but no one.
The election always
is going to give a fuck about Val Demings. Sorry,
I don't even know who that is.
Neither.
In fourth place here is Keisha Lance Bottoms, who's the Atlanta mayor. Nope, not going to happen.
Yeah,
That's
good
what
luck.
she did to the police
good luck
officers.
With that. I mean,
Stacey Abrams is right behind her, and then Michelle Obama, not a fucking prayer. Gretchen Whitmer's way down the list now, plus 5,000. She was in the top 3 for a while. These odds are fun as shit. Tulsi Gabbard's still on the board, by the way.
I like how Hillary Clinton's got a better chance than Tulsi Gabbard.
Whew.
Like Tulsi Gabbard actually makes sense in a way. Not that Biden's going to carry Hawaii either way, and it's like probably 3 electoral votes, but she's a veteran.
Yeah.
She can reach out beyond. She can reach out to the middle, whereas nobody else on this fucking board can even come close to that. I mean, Kamala Harris could reach out to the middle if she runs on her actual record. You know what I mean? Because she's like, not that she's a moderate or anything, but she's done so much fucked up shit in the criminal justice department at this point that if she just like went full Uncle Tom and became a racist, maybe she could reach out to the racists. Like if she became Candace Owens, for example.
Sure.
Who is a fucking idiot. She's one of the dumbest motherfuckers of all time. Like literally one of the dumbest motherfuckers that's ever existed, probably.
She's smart. It's just using your words to make your beliefs come true.
Here's what. Please go research before you fucking send me something with that pile of human garbage in it. Go research her history and how she was like uber liberal.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
And then fucking started making like she did a subtle shift, and then it wasn't to like do anything except for fucking get clicks. She's a fraud. She's a complete fraud. And no, we'll never have her on the show. She's an idiot. Ever. Nope. God. If she came on the show, it would not go well.
But she would be down for that. She would be down for a debate like that.
She doesn't have.
I just saw her in a forum with like Killer Mike and T.I. the other day, and she was down. It was fiery. She's always down to.
She said a couple of things that made sense in that one. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
actually, but
we would,
for the most part, she is.
We would have her on the show, whether or not you guys get into. Who gives a shit?
No, we would definitely get into it because
we'd have her. So yeah, we'd get Candace Owens on the show. And a lot of people message us if we would have Tulsi Gabbard on the show. Absolutely.
Well, obviously we would have her. She's a reasonable, rational human being that actually believes the things she's saying.
Yeah, but just because she's a Democrat, we would not have her on the show. We'd have her on the fucking show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't give a shit about that.
Presidential election Democratic candidates. Joe Biden minus 1850, obviously, because he's the guy. Here's where it gets interesting. Hillary Clinton's at number 2 at plus 1,400.
I think that's just insurance for a Biden death, just like Mike Pence is at plus 1,400 for Republican.
Well, here's the thing.
Insurance
there
Trump
is
dies.
No Bernie Sanders on this Democratic list, and I find that odd. Because he is technically second place.
I mean, he's not a goddamn Democrat, so it shouldn't be that odd, right?
And they're sticking Cuomo on there at plus 2,500.
I like how Paul Ryan's on this list. That dude is a fucking goober.
Oof, the worst.
He's like, I remember that Mitt Romney campaign. He's like, oh, well, I mean, I'm a numbers guy, okay? And then he said a bunch of shit that didn't make any sense. Like, don't come out of the gate saying you're a numbers guy. That's like saying I'm super fast and you're in a fucking wheelchair.
Paul Ryan just wanted to collect that pension.
What I'm saying is that he's in a mental wheelchair. Yes. Paul Ryan's a dum-dum.
Yeah.
He's actually a really smart guy, but he's like the worst politician of all time.
This is a fun one on mybookie.com. Again, promo code Drinkin Bros. As per the start of the 117th Congress, to win the popular vote in the 2020 elections, votes tabulated by the Federal Election Commission for all states in the District of Columbia, which party will win the popular vote in 2020? So that is Democrats at minus 500, Republicans at 275. So does that mean they're expecting what happened to Hillary and Trump in 2016 to happen again? That potentially Biden will win the popular vote but lose the Electoral College?
Maybe.
Because those odds are pretty steep.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
All right, so there's a Donald Trump election special here as well. To lose the Electoral College and the popular vote, minus 150. Whew. To win the Electoral College, lose the popular vote, plus 200. That's a decent bet. That's 2-1.
Yeah, and that's probably what's going to happen.
To win Electoral College and the popular vote is at plus 175. To lose Electoral College, win popular vote at plus 2,000.
That's never going to happen.
No.
There's a 0%.
There's
I don't know why it's even
2,000.
plus 2,000. It should be plus infinity.
You know, they want some money thrown down there. Democrats to have a brokered convention in 2020. Yes, at plus 450. No, at minus 850. I don't think they will as long as Biden stays alive. So here's why you don't do a bet like this. Even if you put $1,000 on this, at minus 850, you win $150 back. Like,
yeah.
That's not worth your fucking money on something like that. And they've already got odds up for Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier. So down for that. Poirier is at minus 210 in that fight coming up. So yeah, I'm all in on Poirier on that fight, but it's just me. It's just me. And this has been a weird, fun show.
Yeah.
Sorry for the internet. I don't know what's going on in the world today. But we talked about Pelosi, and boom, everything went fucking haywire, dude.
Yeah, her fucking, her flabby ass old lady arms probably interfered with our internet signal.
I feel like this is the point in the show where we should drop acid and just continue it for like another 8-9 hours and just let it go live. See what happens. We got places to be today, so
yeah,
we love you. We'll be here every single day, and we got some crazy interviews coming up.
I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yeah, you do that.
Just know that I'll still be talking about this whether you're listening or not. Even if I'm sitting in my house alone, I'll still be. I'm so fucking mad right now that I'll still be talking about this.
For Dan Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin Bros Sports Companion Show. Good afternoon / good night-ish.